Hey everybody, this is going to be kind of me just kind of ranting about something today. This is why I don't buy used tools. Okay, so take for example this Stanley bostitch framing nailer. This is like a $300 tool, brand new, roughly. Plus tax, whatever. So, and a box of nails for this is, I want to say like $50, something like that. This is a 28-degree nailer, framing nailer. And here's the thing, okay, and just hear me out. This is my logic on this. When you buy this is a professional grade tool or an industrial grade tool, okay? Like my Makita here, that's a home use kind of tool, Like, yeah, you can use it in the shop, but it's not really like the best in class, right? But for home use is fine. This is an industrial strength, professional quality gun. That's why it has a high price tag. So who buys this sort of stuff? It's people that frame houses. Nobody buys a $300 gun to go build a sandbox for their kids and then put it on the shelf and never use it again, right? That's like a very, very unlikely kind of scenario. So here's the thing. So I bought this nail gun used. Looks decent, right? It doesn't look all beat up. It's a US made product. It's a good quality gun. But here's the thing. Somebody has used the F out of this, okay? And this is why I don't buy stuff like this at pawn shops. I got this pretty cheap. I got it for like $40, right? Which is, right, compared to 300 bargain, right? But now I have a nail gun that doesn't work all the time. And maybe it's just the trigger. Maybe I have to rebuild the whole thing. I looked at the rebuild kits along with a couple of extra spare triggers. The triggers are this green thing here, which is kind of comes out. But here's the thing, like, if you're doing home projects, right? You've gone out and bought this used tool. You spent $50 in nails, right? What are you gonna do? The rebuild kit, you're looking at like $65, $70, something like that, and that's Chinese cheap rebuild kit. That's aftermarket rebuild kit. That's not original OEM quality. So, and then you have to factor in your time. Most of us don't have unlimited time. If you start a project and you get 10 or 20 nails out of one of these things and then it starts jamming up, working intermittently, whatever the case may be, what is that time worth to you? Okay, let's say time really isn't an issue. So you shell out the 65 or 70 or $80 or whatever for the rebuild kit. Now you have, now you got to figure out how to do it, right? If you've never rebuilt one of these, now you got to figure it out. They're pretty simple, but if you've never done it before, you've never done it before. A similar 28-degree nail gun, I'm looking at like the cheapest Chinese stuff online. You're looking at $80 to $90. And this is where my real dilemma is. And leave a comment below if you have the same dilemma. Like, do I buy a cheap quality tool that I potentially have to rebuild? Or, in my opinion, it's like you're going to have to rebuild it because, again, someone has used the F out of this thing. They didn't buy this because they were fixing a piece of furniture, right? Or whatever. They had one loose plank on a deck. People do not go out and spend this kind of money on tools that they don't use. So by the time this stuff comes up for sale used, it's very, very well used. It has already used up its normal service life in all likelihood. And so, what do you want to do? Spend $65 on the rebuild kit and the time to rebuild it, or shell out, let's say, $90 for a cheap kind of clone and just get your job done. The home job done. You're gonna go through 100 nails and you're done. Call it good. So I've always had this kind of opinion. I know a lot of people shop at pawn shops for this type of thing, and like I said, like this one looks nice. I mean, it's really not beat up. It does not look abused at all, but it's basically junk, right? And it doesn't matter if you paid $10 or $50 or $60 for it. If it's not working properly, that's not a good deal. It's only a good deal if it's usable. If you can just, you know, set it and forget it, plug it in and go. So yeah, I'm very leery of buying stuff like this. Used professional grade tools, exercise caution. If you know somebody personally, you're buying it from a friend and they're not going to do you wrong, go ahead and buy it. But you find stuff like this at pawn shops, just go buy a new one. If you really need a quality one, just go out and shell out the money and buy a new one. That way you know it's been serviced properly.